All right, big fella.
What you got?
You failed to enter your topic on our pre-show notes page. Therefore, me and David are completely
All ears.
anonymously pissed because we don't know what's happening because you're a big proponent for show notes and you failed to do it. So at this point, the floor is yours.
Oh.
Yeah, I don't feel bad one bit.
That's fine.
Very few things in life I have remorse for. Here's what I want to go with. Sticking with the Christmas theme, I was thinking about Christmas traditions. And Christmas traditions, they don't necessarily have to be yours. Ones that you've heard other people do, maybe throw in one that you do. Those Christmas traditions that you either wish you did, that you do, and that you enjoy, are ones that you've thought about doing, because I'm sure we've got some listeners that may be young families.
Can I ask you a question?
Yeah, go ahead.
Are you wearing cologne?
No,
Are you
I don't
wearing
wear cologne.
I mean, I put it on at like 5 this morning.
I catch some whiffs of it.
Dolce & Gabbana.
Is it really?
Mm-hmm.
Oh boy!
No wonder Jenna can't keep your hands off you.
That's
Dolce Gabbana.
You really do
I
put on
took
cologne
you
to
more
go to
for
work?
a Stetson man. catching little subtle hints of that here lately, but yeah, Christmas traditions.
tradition. So, like, I'm going to use one for
I have
example.
a shit ton.
So, my father.
Justine's all out on them, by the way, and we'll get to that.
Okay. My father, when he was a young boy, a young lad here in Huntingburg,
Young chap.
still a young man. Dad's still a young man. They used to have a true, legitimate midnight mass on Christmas Eve.
Oh yeah.
Like a true, legitimate. We're starting at 12:01, Dave.
Mm-hmm.
Not starting at 11. Not starting at 10. I think they do it at 10 o'clock now. But like a true midnight mass, and he will still talk about it like it happened yesterday. And I love it because he's like, we were all there. There were people that were hungover. There were people that were drunk. There were people drinking in the church. There were people passed out in the church. There was people getting up and leaving because they had to throw up at church. Like, I think it's just so cool, like a classic, like, hey, we still have to do our duties as Catholics and go to this midnight mass. Yeah, but I'm 3 sheets to the wind. That's okay. Get in the car. We're going no matter what. It's going to be a party. So, like, that's one of those old school traditions that, like, I love. Like, that's so cool. Like, that is small town Americana. You're going to midnight mass. Are you being the best follower of the Lord by going drunk or hungover or whatever? No, probably not. But you're there, and it's something like my dad, at his age now, can remember like it was yesterday. And like for me on that reference, we've always done Christmas Eve mass. We've always done it, and we'll do it. We'll go to the 4 o'clock or whatever it is. And when I was a kid, where St. Mary's Church is, and where Grandma and Grandpa Lindeman lived down on Van Buren Street,
Just a
couple blocks.
Just a couple blocks.
So we'd walk to church, go to church. We'd walk back. Dinner would be ready. And I can remember we used to take a lap around the block. After dinner was eaten, the men folk would take walks. We would take the walks while the ladies did the dishes. And I thought it was so cool as a kid getting ready, because it was just a cold, crisp night. Now, looking back, what I realized, most of the men involved were smokers, and it was the time to get a smoke break or two in as they walked their lap. And then we'd walk, we'd come back, dishes would be done, and we'd open presents. And it was like that. Obviously, Grandpa Lindeman passed away in 92, 93. So some of that went away. I mean, Grandma lived into the 2000s, but like it was just kind of one of those traditions. Like I hate it because like my kids will never experience that. But
I'll have to start smoking.
Yeah, that's the answer. Hey, we're gonna walk down to the Mason mailbox while Dad rips a couple darts. Don't tell your mother. But
only boys allowed.
Yeah.
By the way.
So, but that's just one of those like little traditions. So I'm using that as an example. I've got a few more, but like that's one
I could
for me.
literally spell out my Christmas Eve, I could literally almost give you a play-by-play from the time I was probably old enough to remember till maybe one
Stop playing with the mic, Dave.
Christmas or 2 Christmases before my grandparents on my mom's side passed away. This will probably be a tough one for my mom to listen to, by the way.
Oh, I'm sure.
Yeah.
The holiday, and here,
It is.
let's put that PSA out there.
It brings it up.
Like all of you in Wonderland, like we've talked about it a little bit about the winter blues. The holidays are freaking tough for everybody.
Well, sure.
There is not a single person in this room that doesn't have a tough stretch or a tough spell during these holidays. Smokers Lounge is always open.
Yep.
That fake fireplace a lot of times is always burning. You may have to sit to the right or left of Couch Guy because he sits right in the middle of the couch with his bare cheeks on the couch. But, like, there's room there.
Yeah.
So, we say that. We get it.
We would leave home probably around 6 or 7, 6:30 or 7-ish to head on down to St. Peter's Lutheran Church in Stendale, Indiana for the Christmas Eve children's program. We would do the Christmas program. We would leave there, go down to Grandma and Grandpa's house, go in the house, immediately enter the sweat lodge that would be their living room because it was probably 241 degrees in there because of the wood stove going. We would all, the kids, now mom and dad usually they wouldn't, but the kids, we would always change clothes immediately. Shorts and a t-shirt because it was 240 degrees. Grandma had a ham. She would usually make a ham, and then we would just do like baked beans, chips and dip, and maybe like a pie or two or whatnot. We would eat ham sandwiches and whatnots and watch the Christmas Story on TNT or TBS, one or the other.
TBS.
Yeah. The marathon would start. So we would watch the Christmas Story.
What a genius idea for them.
Love it, dude.
Give your people a little time off.
Yeah.
All you got to do is push play.
Yeah, marathon.
I still don't think Jenna's ever seen it.
Oh my God. It's probably one of my favorite movies.
Mom hated it.
Oh wow. I don't know. I don't know why. I mean, it's a gimmick. You know what I mean? It's a cliche. I mean, it would take time away from family. You know what I mean? But like, we would all just make jokes of it because we've all seen it so many times.
Yeah.
We would like have battle quotes or like, "Oh, here it comes, here it comes, here it comes." You know, shit like that while we were eating.
She'd always watch it. This goes into another one of those traditions. She'd always at least watch it once with us. Like before she would go to bed or whatever.
Yeah.
She'd watch it at least once with us.
Yeah.
So that's cool.
So then after we were done eating and all that jazz, then we would go from the living room, what we would call, and then go into the front room, which was the other living room. So it's like one of those grandma houses where you got a living room where you sit in and watch TV and shit, and then you have like another living room that you weren't allowed to touch anything. Like it was like the formal living room. But in Grandma Mary's house, that's where like the quilt rack was. Like she had all her quilting stuff and all that jazz was in there. So we would go in there and literally sit around the Christmas tree and we would hand out gifts to everybody. And then we would open gifts in a very, very, very specific order that like we still kind of do in my household, but like in Justine's family, free for all. Kind of. But like in my grandparents' house, we went by age. Youngest to oldest.
Ours is a rotation. Dave,
Yeah.
What about you guys? Well, like a rotation by, I mean, like everybody's got a gift. We'll go clockwise around the room. Everybody opens them.
What do you do?
Now?
Yeah.
We just give all the boys one, and then just tell them all to go at the same time.
Like when Santa comes and you wake up Christmas morning
Yeah, they just all the boys get there.
and they just go after it.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, wow. See that?
You know, that surprises me out of Dave,
Yeah, I
as
know.
organized as he
We
is.
you
Well,
gotta
I
have
mean,
more
the boys all
structure.
sit down and then they get their piles of whatever they have there. That,
So you divvy up piles right away.
Oh yes,
and then they can go.
Oh,
That's
see,
what we did.
We do it like one by one going around.
Mm.
We
well,
try
I
to
mean,
get
everybody had a pile like that. The first thing, like in this situation at Grandma Mary's, somebody would be
Santa.
distinctly, yeah, someone would play Santa. So like when we would go to the church, nobody would go to Grandma's prior to church. So like all the gifts that were there were already like they were there already. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? So
Yeah.
like when we walked in, us kids, we'd walk into the kitchen and then like we would make our way into the front room and we'd like, holy shit. Did you see them pile of presents under the tree in there? Like, oh my God, we're gonna make out like bandits this
Yeah.
year, you know? And then we'd like try to scarf down our food as fast as we can. Okay, you done? You done eating? Okay, yep, we're ready to go, you know, and shit like that. And then we would sit in it doesn't matter what order or where we were sitting, like you were still going youngest to oldest. And then, you know, somebody would just start handing them out. So then everybody had like
Yeah.
however many they had in their pile, and then you were only allowed to open one at a time around,
Yeah, we're
around
big.
the room.
We try to get the most mileage out of it. So we just somebody like with as young as our kids are now, it's Janelle and I. Well, Zoe helps like making sure they all have something, keep them entertained open. But
See, that was the whole driving point. Like, I feel like that's the driving point too on the whole like equality thing. So like if you had a free for all, I feel like you could get away with not having an equal amount of gifts per child. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
You know,
Mm-hmm.
because that wasn't always a thing. Like sometimes we were like wrapping socks individually, you know, just so you got the same amount of boxes to open. Not really, but you know what I mean. Like, I think that was one of our biggest Christmas traditions was Christmas Eve. We were always at Grandma Mary's, and just like Justine's family, Christmas Eve they were always at Granny
Yeah,
Dina's.
we've
Granny
all-
Dina's doing the same thing.
yeah, ours was always Christmas Eve down at Grandma and Grandpa Lindemann's, and then Grandma and Grandpa Sissel would stop over Christmas morning
Oh, really?
sometime. Yeah.
Christmas morning was always with mom and dad.
Well,
and brother, just us.
They would come after we were done.
Yeah.
Mom would call and say, "Hey, we're done," and then they would stop by.
So we would always do Grandma Mary's at Christmas Eve night, and then we would leave there and come home and like go to bed immediately.
Well, you had to, or Santa wasn't going to stop.
Exactly. And then like we would get up, Christmas morning and do our thing. And then Christmas Day we would go to Wild Bill and Grandma Lois's house for supper, I think, or lunch, late supper, early lunch, late lunch, early supper type thing. And then maybe we would go to Granny Batch's Christmas Day too, which was Grandma Lois's mom.
Yeah,
But I don't remember.
Dave, anything?
No, not really. I mean, we go to the in-laws every Christmas Eve. That's what we do for supper there. And then we'll do like Christmas morning here. Kind of depends on Jenna's work schedule. It happens is most of it.
I think that's a cool thing too about the warden's new gig. Like there for a while, I think for a long time, dude, she worked like every Christmas, and it was sucked. Like when they were working nights. Remember when they were working nights, and like they'd come home Christmas morning, or they would try to skate out a little early, get home Christmas morning, watch us open gifts, and then just like go to bed.
Yeah.
You know, sacrifices them broads made for us. You know.
Yeah.
Well, and then any like traditions like tied to food. So like we always did New Year's Eve or Christmas Eve was always whatever, but like Christmas morning breakfast was always like the creme de la creme.
No.
Center cut ham fried up from Merkley's, of course. Like big breakfast. Like huge,
Really?
Oh, big breakfast.
See, we never really ate breakfast Christmas morning.
Yeah,
No,
Christmas
wait.
morning after all the gifts, because like we'd be playing with our gifts or whatever, and Mom would be looking back now, we should have been out there helping her. But
Yeah, I was
spending
going to say
time,
she's in there working her ass off.
making breakfast.
Getting ready to feed your asses.
Well,
yeah.
it changed as we got older. We were in the kitchen a lot. But then Christmas dinner would always be T-bone steaks
Ooh.
that we'd throw on the egg and grill. Now, all that's changed recently.
Oh man, it was
And
always a crapshoot at Grandma Lois's. Sometimes we'd get freaking. Sometimes we'd have steak. Sometimes we have Papa John's pizza. Sometimes we would have. I mean, it was all over the map. Spaghetti, lasagna. It didn't matter. Whatever, That was
so that's what. So now, I think we've done. Like we had a taco bar for Christmas Eve one, because
shit.
Because when the kids were younger, they didn't like eating steak. It's a texture thing. It's all that other stuff,
and it's dangerous.
And so
for a child to eat steak too.
So good old Papaw, who once it's about the grandchildren, he's like, we're gonna do something else. So that's changed for us a little bit on it. But we've now when Santa Claus visits your house. Does Santa Claus wrap his presents, or does he place under the tree neatly?
No. So we talked about this before, but Santa Claus, for some reason, that sneaky son of a bitch, he always wraps his gifts in different paper than the gifts that mom and dad we buy.
Mm-hmm.
For some unknown reason, I don't know why, but every time he comes to our house, his gifts are always wrapped in different types of paper.
Yeah, Santa uses different paper to our house too.
Yeah. So Santa wraps his gifts for sure in different style. And here's another thing too. If there is multiple people wrapping, you've been a part of, someone other than sometimes. So have you ever been recruited by Santa to help wrap?
I have.
Yeah. So sometimes Santa.
You want to know how the phone conversation went?
Santa will ask,
ring, 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 ring. Oh, honey, it's a number from the North Pole. Hello? Yes, this is him. Oh, really? You need a little help? Hey, anything for the big man in the red suit.
Yeah.
That's where I go. That's the quick call.
Yeah.
Quick call.
So we have to, when we are drafted by Santa to help wrap, I always make sure to have someone else sign from Santa.
Yeah.
So they don't recognize it's, my writing.
Well, because it's a secret thing.
Yeah, because we don't want, these are questions that I just don't want to mess with. Those are questions that I don't want to answer.
Yeah.
But Santa doesn't wrap things at your place. does
Well, so it's kind of like Amazon Prime. That's how Santa's always how he's always been for ours. As a young lad, Santa always was kind of like we wanted him to have. Yeah, we always wanted Santa to save a little time at our house because we cared about him getting to other houses.
Oh yeah.
So my parents would always negotiate a settlement like, hey, if you throw an extra gift or two, you don't have to wrap Santa. You can just drop in piles.
You were working on contracts. You were bred for this shit, bud.
It's a true story. So, and now my wife, who is bewildered by it, but when I'm like, we have to be agreeable to Santa because it's been this tradition now for 36 years.
Yeah.
This will be my 36th Christmas, Dave.
Yeah.
So the reality of it is I've done it for so long. We need to continue to help the big fella out.
Right.
Yeah, he's a busy guy.
Sometimes when we would get for some reason or somehow that magical son of a bitch would somehow wrangle bicycles and all kinds of shit like that in that sleigh and somehow wad them some bitches up and get them down the chimney and get them in the living room there.
Yeah.
Which you guys know how little my mom and dad's house is.
Yeah.
Getting a bicycle down there that's capable of holding a 180-pound kid is not very easy.
Here's the other thing.
He's full of magic.
Here's
but
the other
those
thing
were
about-
never wrapped.
Here's the other thing about Santa. That guy can pick a lock. Because
Oh yeah.
and he must have those dog treats that he mixes with something else that puts the dogs down.
Roofies.
Because our dogs seem to either just they know Santa must do some good ear scratching because they bark at everything. You could
Don't bark at
sneeze, but not Santa, and he doesn't. But Is there any gifts that are traditions that happen every year? Because for the longest time, underwear and socks. We would get the underwear and socks every Christmas without fail.
No, stockings. You know, he seems to always just do good on candy and the stockings for everybody. But that's kind of
That's the extent of it.
yeah.
I've gotten socks and underwear for the past probably 34 Christmases.
In your stocking or like as a
No,
gift?
like as a gift. Like you could always count on there being socks wrapped up
I think
and underwear.
I got, well, my mother-in-law started that trend about 4 years ago, maybe 5. No, it had to be more than 4 because I was still working at the mine when I got my first pair of these old Duluth undie pants.
Yeah.
And I think I've probably got
Bought
about,
myself 12 pairs of those.
I think I got about 40 pairs of them because I got them for Christmas there. Good run. I had a good run with those.
Yeah.
Christmas traditions are something that I really, really enjoy. I really like. I always have. Now the warden, she's all out. Doesn't like it.
Why?
I don't know. Just doesn't like the structure. She's a free spirit when it comes to things
That's
like
a
that.
wild thing.
It is. It is to certain things.
Kind of like his kids ripping open presents because that doesn't seem to fit.
Well,
the
see, that's
motif.
how they do it. That's how.
I mean, they don't just go. We don't say, "Here's your pile." Go
no.
wild."
Everybody does one at a time, but everybody
Yeah.
goes at the same time.
Yes.
Okay, everybody get one box. Ready, go. And then it's and then it's over. Okay, hold up what you got, and everybody shows what they got. And then it's
Now,
like,
see, I think it's because neither.
bing, round 2.
I think
And
it's
it goes,
because nobody in the house smokes.
huh?
It seemed like there's always somebody smoking that was taking the pictures. Nobody smokes. Nobody takes pictures. You know, like, remember? Did you ever do the hold it up so everybody can see what you got?
100%.
Yeah,
And then
don't.
we switched to a camcorder. And Dad would set that bitch on a tripod out back in the corner here in the living room, and then it would just record the whole thing.
You take pictures of your kids now. What they got?
Not a chance.
Yeah, neither
no.
do we.
But
What do
we
you do?
said, well, yeah, that's fine. But remember, I said, I don't remember what show. It was a couple, I don't know what show it was, but I said we had the camcorder going.
Oh, yeah,
Yeah.
your brother
And
fighting.
me and my brother were fighting. He's like, God damn it, it's on camera.
Which,
Now
by the
you're
way-
going to know you ruined Christmas, you little bastard. You know what I mean?
And like that short's funny and
Yeah.
nothing. I don't get it.
yeah, it's
YouTube
wild.
shorts just
Yeah,
piss
people
me
are
off.
idiots.
Is there on like the tradition front? Is there anything in your mind right now you can say you wish you would do?
Christmas cards. I think Christmas. I think that ties into my first topic. Another thing too, my Christmas tree, it's up right now in our living room.
Yeah.
Like I have erected our Christmas tree. Like it is up, but it has nothing on it. It's just a plain ass tree. And I feel like for me, which I know I put a lot of faith in the warden to do the decorating part of it because I'm not good at it. And she works her ass off too. She's gone all the time working. But I feel like we need to put up, I feel like as a tradition for me, if something going forward, I want to set a hard deadline on when I need to have my shit up and ready to go.
The weekend after Thanksgiving.
And that's too much. No, I was going to say maybe more like December 1st or my birthday, like say, hey, you need to have your tree up, decorated and ready to go by my birthday, which is December 10th. I feel like that's feasible because you still get those late November days that are nice enough to work outside, which by the way, that was my birthday gift to myself, by the way. I bought Sasquatch with my
did you?
with my own birthday money.
Yeah, the kids
David,
are,
you didn't know about this yet.
the kids are excited about
I have
it.
an 8-foot tall Christmas Sasquatch
Oh, nice.
with a Christmas tree over his shoulder in my front yard.
Yeah,
Right?
he didn't nail it to the roof. So
No,
Rabbit
it's
ain't
not
get
on the
good.
roof. It's on the ground.
Rabbit ain't gonna get the call on that.
Nice.
Yeah, but no. If I had to, if I wanted to, if I was going to install a new Masoner Christmas tradition, I think it would be to do Christmas cards in the mail and to set a hard deadline on when my decor needed to be up and ready to go.
There
Dave?
you go.
Probably Christmas cards.
Yeah.
Like we used to do it pretty regularly because we try to get pictures every year.
Right.
With like sports and everything. And you were asked about like on my phone. There's probably not too many I got a couple pictures, I bet, from Florida. There's probably more pictures of us on the podcast than there is anything else on my phone.
That's a sad state of
Like
affairs.
we got a phone call before the show from some friends of mine. That big guy there, that guy looked like he needed to go to the burn unit.
Yeah.
Now, that would have been a good Christmas card. David is
yeah.
red as that damn cup
Yeah.
he's got.
Yeah.
What about you? Do you have anything new?
You know, we always the Friday after Thanksgiving, we always went up to the resort and we would walk around and check out the Christmas decorations. And so a couple things. We bake cookies with Dad. Because if they wouldn't do it, like, if it wouldn't be like us doing it, they never get done. But we bake cookies with Dad. And then we'll go down to Santa Claus, to the Land of Lights. But I think the one I'm going to try to add this year, and it's tough because I spend 5 days a week up there already, is let the kids go check out the resort and kind of run around, check out the Christmas decorations. It's so cool when it's lit up. But it's an underappreciated asset.
We normally do that once a year. Take the kids up there and let's see.
I have a friend that I worked with at the mine that their family goes to the Gaylord Opry
Down in Nashville?
Hotel.
Like a big ice carvings. And
They have like their Christmas thing that they do down there is insane. Like they do like they get a suite and shit, and like they do Christmas morning and stuff there. Like they have for a few years. I guess.
Now that's a question. Let me ask you guys this, as it would be as a tradition. So you're a lot closer to it because your kids are older, but you still got Wild Bill, who's a kindergartner. But like, if it got to the point, would you tell your kids like, "Hey, we're going to go spend a week and name that place," but understand the trade-off. There's not going to be any gifts. This is our gift to you guys. Would you guys
I think
do
my
it?
spoiled ass brat kids would bitch because they wouldn't get any.
But I'm saying they're older. Like if your kids are like 15, 16 plus.
Yeah, like, hey, Santa's going to skip this year. He's going to just
pay for a week down in
say
Costa Rica.
Yeah, name your spot.
Bahamas.
I don't think my kids go for that.
When they're older, though,
I think it's tough to walk away.
I think I would miss Christmas with. Like if I couldn't take my
grandma and grandpa would have to.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like if I wouldn't take grandma and grandpa or great grandma and great grandpa and shit, like, and we had, like, I feel like it would be doing a disservice if they weren't involved. You know, it's like, hey, you know, oh yeah, last Christmas would have been real fun, but you guys were down in Jamaica. Oh, hope you had a good time. You know what I mean? Something like that.
Game, we did. we knew you were going to make another one.
But no. I probably wouldn't. No, I know people that do that, and they take the whole family, like the old Christmas vacation, like Cousin Eddie and the whole works. Like they go to Hilton Head or Nantucket or one of those places and get like a big old 20-person house and just do.
I don't
Christmas.
think Nantucket would be very nice this time of year.
I don't know where that is.
That's East Coast.
Shut that up.
No, Massachusetts.
Shot that from the hip. But I think they just
Maine.
they go to Hilton Head or somewhere like that.
Yeah, there we go.